Welcome back to another episode of STL Real Estate Roundtable. I'm your host, Jaden Barr, CEO and team leader of Keller Williams Chesterfield. And today I'm joined by a very special guest, Stacy Deutschmann. Deutschmann?
Yeah,
I got that right?
Deutschmann.
Okay,
Yeah, awesome.
And, I'm so excited to learn from your business today. I know that the viewers and listeners are going to get a ton of value from it. So thank you for being a guest.
Thank you for asking me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's dive in. What got you into a career in real estate? What'd you do prior and what led you to this awesome career?
So I was like an administrative assistant. You know, I went to Hickey Business School back in the day. It was called then it was Hickey College. Now it's closed, but it was where they taught you to wear suits, and we did shorthand, and so I was a secretary at Brown Shoe and Nestle and those kinds of things. And then my daughter was 3 and my oldest daughter, and then I was pregnant with my son, and I kind of wanted to go part-time. So I got a job as a part-time secretary with a builder in Oakville, and I was just entering stuff in the MLS, his specs, and people would come to him to build, and he would pay me hourly to sit in displays on the weekends. So I decided I totally loved it. You know, I always loved going in display homes and stuff. So I decided to go to school. I went to night school because back then I went to the Gundaker School of Real Estate because they didn't have online classes back then.
Yeah,
they didn't really have a lot of computer stuff back then. So let's just say that.
Don't give away your age.
I know, I'm sorry. So I went it was for a month. I went 4 nights a week from 6 to 10, and then I took my test the very next day because I didn't want to, lose anything. I wanted to have it be fresh in my mind. I passed both the national and the state, and then I went back to him, and so he, I was the only agent licensed for him at the time, but, and so people would come to build a house, and they would have a house to sell, so they would use me. So that's kind of how it started, and then, but then he was so small that I kind of needed to be with a bigger brokerage, so I went back to Gundaker at the time. So
awesome.
Yeah, I think it was Gundaker, and then it was Better Homes and Gardens, I think, and then it was Simply Better, and then
all the different iterations.
Yes. So, but that's how I got my start. Yeah, I used my kids. When they got into elementary, I used their buzz book for the school, and that's how I started my database.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
So
okay.
That's what worked back then.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So how has talking about building your business, right, from farming, using kids' school, different things like that, how has that changed throughout the years?
Well,
or has it changed?
It has. I don't do as much mailings, I guess, because just the internet and social media is just so present. Most of my business now, because I'm going on 20, it'll be 24 years in February, next February. So it just feels weird that it's that long. But most of my business is repeat and referral. But I'm just trying to stay relevant on social media because, it's trying to appeal. Yeah, everyone's there, and it's just trying to appeal to the younger generation, because they're like the new up-and-coming buyers that you have to, stay relevant to. So
100%.
Yeah, and it's a full-time job.
Yeah.
Social media is just a full-time job in itself. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So we were talking before we started recording about different things that you're doing with social media and how are you utilizing that as a tool. I think a lot of agents are, scared or intimidated or they don't know what to post. How have you just embraced that and just jumped in with it?
Well, because I kind of liked, TikTok, that's kind of what started it. For me, in 2020, I kind of resonated with it, and it was fun, and I do like the dancey videos and stuff, but then I kind of, geared my business some towards real estate, but I never liked my voice. I still don't on camera in real life, so I always used funny memes and voiceovers, and just would mouth it, but but I don't hide who I am, so I'm some of them have cuss words in them. Some of it's maybe not appropriate, but that's okay because I know who I want to work with. I know when they, so if I resonate with them, then it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and probably some of I don't know if this is the case for you, but let's see, some of my best videos are ones where I'm just unfiltered and it's maybe I stumbled over a word or something like that, like, and I just posted it and then it performed really well.
Yeah,
like, I don't
yeah.
know.
It's weird, like how algorithms work, even on Instagram. Like, one thing that you don't think would, do well, and then another, and it's like, oh, that did well,
Yeah.
but not this one that you practiced and practiced. And,
Right.
Yeah,
You filmed perfectly. Make sure the lighting was right.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Or make sure filters were on, and
Yeah.
So
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So you talked about kind of your start with your career. How did, I think a lot of agents, they get into the business and they don't have any background with real estate, or they don't know the first thing to do when they're getting started. Like, you kind of came in with some background knowledge whenever you got licensed. Like, you knew how to put things in the MLS, you knew how to do those things. So
and
how
that
did
was that was fun, and I love new construction. I love like the building process, and I love being at all the appointments and helping people pick their choices out, because it's so fun just seeing their dream come to fruition, especially when it's all done. So that was fun, but then I couldn't do it like full time because my kids were smaller, and being a salesperson for our builders, like a lot of hours and every weekend. So
what is that process like? Are you in the sales office?
Yeah, you're in a display.
9 to 5.
Yeah, your days off are like maybe Thursday and Friday, and so otherwise then your week is like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And it's like, when my kids were little, I just didn't want to miss out on their activities and stuff, because my kids were really involved in stuff. So, and my husband, my two of them did competitive dance, and there's no way he was going to do a competition bun, for hair and costumes. Like, there's no way he could have handled that. So, but and I don't regret it, because I wanted to be a part of my kids. And that's what's nice about this, the industry too. It's like, it is flexible, I guess, for kids and stuff like that. I mean, sometimes I had to bring my youngest with me on showings and stuff. I mean, sometimes, you had to, but that's kind of nice about this career too, is the flexibility in it, so you can work as hard, as much or as little as you want, I guess. Mm-hmm. So it just depends on, I guess, your needs and stuff. So
there's probably like a lot of top producers, agents that are, performing at a really high level. They sell a lot of real estate, but they're struggling with that time aspect, right?
It's time
balancing family, their marriage, like different things like that. So how do you kind of put things into perspective, or how do you find that balance? How, over the years, like, how have you grown in that?
I mean, sometimes I would take my kids with me, but I never wanted to, I'd always be at their beck and call, and which was fine. I mean, my kids, like one time I took my youngest, and this was before, like, you could get in trouble for leaving a kid in the car, but it was like nice out, and I had the sunroof open. I just went in to show one, and she was sleeping. I was like, okay, I parked in the shade. It was May, so it was not even hot out yet. But we came out of the showing, and she was peeking her head out of the sunroof of my car. So I was like, Mother of the Year here. Yeah. So I'm like, and then there's like, that meme. Have you seen like? And your kids are like acting like they're laying in a sleeping bag, and you're in a grocery store, and you like, because they would always like hate when I would run into somebody I knew, and then I would be talking, and they'd be like, Mom, come on. So, but then they got to an age where they didn't have to go with me on stuff, so that was fine.
That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice because, like, back in the day when we first started, like, I'd be home with the kids during the day, because back then you didn't have the access right there on your phone, like you could pull up. Yeah. So most people looked on evenings and weekends, because most people work during the day. So it was a nice change, because I could be home with the kids during the day, and my husband, would be at work, and then we'd flip, and then I'd go show houses when he got home, and then,
figure it out.
And on
Make
weekends,
it work, right?
Yeah.
So what have been some lessons learned over the years, as you've seen, markets change, the industry change? What have been some lessons learned?
Well, this year's been extremely challenging. I mean, just with all the changes thrown.
Yeah.
I still feel like people hear about it, but like when I get down and start talking to clients, like they hear about it, but they don't really understand it. And they think it's kind of, just one-sided, or just only pertains to the seller. So, I mean, we're still kind of like, every person I meet, it's like, okay, we need to sit down and like really go over everything, so exactly what you're...
And how this could play out.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, we haven't really seen where people aren't paying commission. So, I mean, that's been nice, but, it's going to come up eventually. So I just want my people or my clients to be prepared for it, Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What's something right now that you're working through in your business to like make better for 2025? Do you have any challenges that you're working through, or
just like
people love hearing about the good
my
stuff, but
my systems like in place and like, I mean, I've been fortunate that my business has been repeat and referral, so I haven't really. I mean, it's kind of nice because stuff just comes. I don't get to a point now where I'm like, oh gosh, if I don't get a deal, So that's helpful, but you have to be mindful of that, so you got to keep working and mailings if you do, or just be consistent on posting just to stay, in front of it. Because I think, especially with the industry changes this year, it's really important for people to build a brand and have people to really, know you and your brand, more than anything. So that's why I kind of stepped up my game this year and started doing the videos and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So do you have a team right now? Or are you a solo agent?
I've always been a solo agent. I have never been on a team. I interviewed a long time ago to be on a team, and then I just felt like, and I was doing fairly well. So I'm like, well, I just can't imagine, not getting credit for, because it all goes to the team member. So I've just always been a solo agent. I have a transaction coordinator, so she helps me. Once I get the contract, she takes it and then, sends it out to everybody, and it keeps me informed of deadlines and stuff like that. So, which is very helpful. So, but other than that, I'm just me, myself, and I.
And we talked about this before we started recording, but you have a virtual assistant as well?
Yes. Okay. She's in the Philippines.
Is that different from your transaction coordinator?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the virtual assistant, I think that's something that we should touch on is like, I think a lot of agents, they think that the first step whenever they're building a team is to hire a buyer's agent. And it's kind of reverse. Like you should probably hire a virtual assistant, some sort of operations role to really get your systems dialed in and then add to it. So there's probably a lot of agents out there that they have a virtual assistant, but they're not using them at a high level.
Yeah.
What are some things that you use that virtual assistant
for?
So
she does a lot of my reels and stories, she's really, I'm not good at Canva at all. I don't know why. I suck at it. So I pay for the, pro account and stuff, but she goes in and, will post on, and that was another thing too, is like, gosh, this person, I don't know her, she's in the Philippines, like it's a 12-hour time difference. It's like, that's another reason probably why I'm not on a team, because I just have a hard time of letting go of
a lot of people.
Yes. I mean, that's just so difficult because, and which I'm sure it would probably be better if I did, but it's just very hard. But then, because I already got hacked on Instagram like last year or 2 years ago, and I was like, I was so upset about that. And with all the scams out there, it's very scary because she has access to all my social media accounts. Right. So
everything.
Yeah. And I was upset when I lost my access to my Instagram because it's a mixture of personal and business. But I was like, oh my gosh, I lost all those photos and, all those uploads and stuff. And luckily I got it back. But that's a big thing, is like letting go. Like she'll do anything I want her to do. Like she'll do CRM. She can do all kinds of stuff. And she was referred to me. So another agent that I know that's a Virginia, Maryland agent, like she referred me. So I'm like, well, she's using her. I trusted. Yeah. So that made me feel better because I get emails all the time to my, about virtual assistant. I'm like, so I'm glad I was referred to her. And I've been using her for almost a year now. And she's so sweet. Like we'll do voice talk, we'll do video chats on Facebook, like Messenger or whatever. And we constantly, every day she'll send me a text saying, your reels and stories are posted to your accounts. And like if I have a new listing, she'll make me, like under contract or coming soon. So she'll make, I'll send her like the picture of the house and she'll make those posts for me and stuff. So, and that frees up some time because the social media stuff is, that's a whole.
It's a tool.
It is.
You can create or you can consume.
Yeah. And I get sucked in just like scrolling and looking at stuff, so it is my husband calls my phone an addiction, but I'm working.
We're all addicted to our
Yeah,
phone.
I know.
Let's just be honest.
So I'm like, I am working. So he's like, yeah, right.
You're right.
So-
You're right. Yeah.
So
what would you say is the reason people love working with Stacy?
I don't know. I guess I'm fun. No, I think
I've done a deal with you. You're fun.
A lot of people. Well, I was probably looking out for my clients, so I was maybe a little mean, but I just feel like I kind of take over that mother hen, especially because a lot of repeat referral, but it's like now, because my kids are at the age where they're buying houses and their friends are, so I kind of like just take over I feel like they're my child too, and I just kind of always want to look out for their best interests. And I do a lot of first-time home buyers. We're going through, and I'm like looking at the plumbing stack, and I'm like, okay, that's a rust barnacle, and like, I don't know how many houses I've shown in the last year that like they were structural piers on the wall in the basements, and then they painted them, to blend. And I was like, well, and they're like, what? And so I feel like, maybe I'm shooting myself in my foot, but I'm not just about making the sale and getting paid. It's like I want
Clients for life.
Yes, and I want them to be, educated, about their purchase, and I want them to, love the home that they're buying. So if it takes, months, as long as they find the right one, that's it's not a speed, and like we'll get there. We'll find you the right one, So especially when we were losing out, in the COVID market.
Oh,
so,
gosh.
yeah, I think the most I wrote for one client was like 11.
11? Okay.
Yeah.
I think my record was 8.
It was
so
like, gosh. Yeah.
There would be weekends where I would write on 3 different properties for the same client.
Yeah.
And
that was insane. Yeah. I don't miss that. We'll probably never see the 2 and 3% interest rates, but I just definitely don't want to go back to like after the 2008, because when I had to learn how to do short sales and stuff, because I didn't like that. Yeah, I did not like that. So I just like the normal, like residential.
Where do you see the market going next year?
I like to be optimistic. So, we made it through the election, whether that was good or bad for whoever. Yeah, but I'm hoping, because I feel like right now it's kind of slow. Just in general.
Yeah.
So, rates haven't really come down either, like that we thought they would maybe after the election. Right. So, I'm hoping we'll see things to improve, like maybe January, February. Even if they got down to in the 5s, that would be great.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Bring a lot of people off the fence.
Yeah, because it's just a lot especially for first time.
Too.
Yeah. And people don't want to put their house right now because of the time of year, and they already got it decorated for Christmas, and the snow, the weather, it's not, people are listing now, or they have to move. Yeah.
Motivated buyers and sellers.
Yeah.
Right.
So, inventory's still low. Yeah. I feel so.
What would you say you've built this business, you built this career. What would you say you're most proud of?
I think just like the amount of business that I've done over the years and stuff. And I feel like I've built like a really good business, because I don't have a college degree. Like I went to the Hickey College and I went to Merrimack for a short time, but like I don't have like a degree like everybody gets nowadays. So I feel like I've done well for myself in those circumstances without having, a full education background. So, but it's all about how hard you work. And what you put into it is what you'll get out of it. So I feel like
you've got a really impressive business. So that's something to be proud of for sure. So you talked a little bit about family.
Yeah.
Talk about the importance of family, kind of how that plays a role in your business. And
Yeah, I love my kids, and I have a great husband, and he's a hard worker too. So I think we the kids see our work ethic, and know that, they can be successful.
Yeah, that's what I love about this industry is there's no limit to what's possible.
Right.
Like you're in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
You run your business how you want to run your business. There's so many different ways that agents are successful too, right?
Yeah.
You see there's agents out there that they make their living off of cold calling.
Yeah.
And other agents that love door knocking, and
then
then
I've never
agents that
never done that. Yeah.
love social media. And so it's just kind of, what works for you. And then, eventually you're going to find kind of your tribe and your people. And there's plenty of business to go around.
Yeah. And then there's so many agents that I've known over the years, so, and now when if it comes up and it's a deal and you're like, yay, I want to work with them, so it's like you have a good rapport with them and like the deal's going to go smooth.
And even if it doesn't, it's going to be okay.
But because we're both professionals and I have a lot of like agents who I consider like friends, and I'd love to work with them, and it's not a competition. Like I would support their posts. I mean, one agent, like I go through and they like make fun of me because I'll like every picture and they're like they sent like a meme and they put all the likes and they're like, she put it to a sound that said like, thank you for being a friend.
Yeah.
So I'm like, supporter. Okay, now I'll just like the initial picture and like comment, but I'm like, we laugh about that because I'll go in and like everybody's stuff. I just like try and if I could support that way, then that's what I do.
Yeah. To all you friends and followers out there, past clients, like.
Well, this was another agent.
It doesn't cost you anything
to
like and comment on our posts. Okay, we're making a fool of ourselves on social media. The least you can do is just like it. Okay?
Right, yeah. It doesn't cost anything, But because I love when other agents like share their kids. Like, I like I'm in love with your baby, I'm like, oh, so.
I am too. She's awesome.
It goes by so fast too, and it's like, I don't even know how my kids got as old as they are. I'm like, oh, and it's like, you just, especially now at the holidays, and like, we didn't have, Elf on the Shelf or anything when my kids were little, and I keep hearing, it's both good and bad about it, but I'm like, oh, you just miss like, at this time when it's like so magical and like they believe, and it's just Santa's best part. So.
Yep, it is a special time.
It goes by so fast. So I'm like, oh, I don't even know how it went by this fast.
So it flies. It flies. It's crazy because going from like college or even just growing up in school, you have the different seasons, right? You have like summer break, winter break, spring break, all the different breaks that kind of break up the year, and then now you're in the real world and you don't have that. It's just like one continuous
and their breaks go by so fast.
100%.
Like, they go back in August now. It used to be after Labor Day, and I'm like, gosh, it's like, well, here we are. So
absolutely. Are there any questions that I should have asked you that I haven't?
I don't think so. I don't know. Okay. Is there anything else that?
I always wrap up each episode with one final question. I believe that readers are leaders. Do you have an impactful book that has had a huge impact on your business, personal, professional? The last episode, we actually had a fiction book because it's a way to unplug from the business and not think about real estate.
I don't really read a lot. Yeah.
Okay, that's totally cool.
I don't. I don't even know the last time I used to be into Danielle Steele books, and like that's probably the last time I read.
We'll switch it up. Top 3 TV shows or series.
So I'm a big crime junkie.
Okay.
So I'm like Tuesdays are my FBI night, because we have like the 3 FBIs. On Wednesdays, I like Chicago, medical, and I like the Chicago PD, I like Law and Order. Like those are all my, I always flip and watch like Court Cam. And like,
have you watched Suits?
No, I've seen
Lincoln
bits
Lawyer
of it. No, I've heard of it. Yeah,
those are both good.
Okay,
2 of my top ones.
Yeah, my husband's a big Netflix. Like he's always like watching new movies and stuff. So and starting series and stuff. But those are like if I was TV, that's what I watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, usually it's on and then, but I try and watch it. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I guess another question would be like, who is your ideal client? You mentioned you work with a lot of first-time home buyers. Who's kind of your like client avatar that you're like, I love serving this group of people?
I think it's just like more of the younger, like the first-time home buyers that have never bought a house, just because I like educating them along the way and just, pointing out aspects of the house which they wouldn't have even ever thought about, so they kind of just see what they like online and then, it's not what it is when you get there. And so just educating them along the way and just the first-time home buyers,
Awesome.
So
awesome. Any tips for an agent that's just getting started or is kind of in the middle of their career journey that wants to get to your level of production?
So I would say, just be consistent. And, if you set goals or, you do a business plan with your broker every year, because they're always there to help, obviously. So anything that you need help with, but just be consistent in your tasks, which even if it feels like it's not working, it will eventually click in. It's hard to see past, your own feet. But if you just keep at it and keep consistent doing what you're doing, then, I think it'll happen. And then it just takes a while, to become repeat and referral. I mean, obviously,
Yeah, we do so much work that we don't see the results for, sometimes it's multiple years before we see the fruit of that labor, right?
Yeah.
So it's
and I'm mostly repeat and referral. So, and I'm starting now that I've been like kind of consistently posting. I am getting some like blind leads off of social media. So be consistent there, because I feel like that's where the younger generation is. So, which will eventually become, they're your lifelong clients.
and
because
you
they're
said
probably
earlier,
buying stuff.
like be yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're going to attract people that resonate with you and resonate with what you post.
Like I don't I don't show up in like suits or, sometimes I'm in like leggings. And I'm like, it's, you're a normal human, and I feel like that makes people feel more comfortable, because they can be themselves around you and not have to, I don't like drive like a fancy car, I'm normal. I'm a normal person. I'm a mom. I'm an avid animal lover. So I'm obsessed with doodles. So, so if anybody, I foster, I will save like squirrels, turtles, like I'll wreck my car before I hit a deer, I just don't like snakes and spiders, but everything else I'm good with. Okay. So I think people just resonate with like animals is a big thing. People love animals. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, and kids and babies and 100%. all the stuff that, encompasses family stuff. So
Absolutely. Well, Stacy, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having
I know
me.
that everybody watching and listening is going to get a ton of value from our time spent together here. And you have an awesome business that you should be really proud of.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing a little bit of insight on it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you on the next episode.